Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Well, Larson.
And welcome back to Steve and Larson's Pro Wrestling Podcast, ruining pro wrestling since 2014. Summerslam 2025 is in the books, and that is what we're talking about today.
Night one's in the books.
Sorry, night one. I meant to specify night one. Night two, of course, is tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got two new world champions in the books as of tonight.
I thought you meant they crowned two new world heavyweight champions, and so they were both champions concurrently, but that's no, it doesn't happen.
They really don't do that too often. It's a shame. We don't have the real world's championship anymore, Larson. Sadly enough,
but we do have a former real world's champion in the lineage of the world heavyweight championship, because yes, CM Punk did defeat Gunther in the main event to win the World Heavyweight Championship, held that title for, 5 minutes or so, until Seth Rollins walks out on stage with some crutches and a knee brace, kind of says, just you wait, Phil. I'm going to cash in on you at some point, only for him to turn around, drop the crutches, take off the knee brace, march to the ring, wreck CM Punk with that briefcase, and successfully cash in following a stomp. He is now World Heavyweight Champion. Dave Meltzer, John Pollock, they could take some victory laps now. They said from as soon as Saturday night's main event ended, pretty much.
Yeah.
They had heard the previous Thursday that there was going to be an injury angle involving Seth Rollins, and that's exactly what played out here. Two questions for you. One, how much did knowing this was the angle affect your enjoyment of said angle? Two, even if you didn't know about that this was all the work from the get, is there something in the execution they could have done maybe a little bit better to have it hit home a little bit more?
I do think that to maybe hammer home the idea that Seth's group really functions as a single unit, and it does seem like Bron Breakker might have actually tweaked his knee during his match in the opener, and maybe this was the plan, but maybe not. Let's say it wasn't. Let's say everything was supposed to go the way it did. Bron Breakker maybe softening him up a little bit beforehand. Punk is so focused on Seth out there, and instead, but no, man. If I was not aware of this at all, yes, I probably would have popped bigger for Seth throwing down the crutches because of the way they executed everything we've seen on screen. Let me back up. The way the injury was executed at the LA Knight thing, that was really well done. They made it look like this is really what would happen if he actually got injured. And so the idea that Seth was faking the whole time, I think I would have been very, very into it if I didn't know that, which of course is an argument for, man, sucks when things get spoiled for the general fan base. If you guys are paying attention to what the dirt sheets do, and then what we eventually, talk about as well. So yeah, I think my reaction would have been different. I thought they did a decent job with him coming out and saying, you know what, prepare for this because it's coming at some point. And then he turns around, and he walks away, and then he stops. It did have me going sort of like, oh, wait, is it? Is it not? Is it not? And then when he threw him down, I was like, okay, well, it's been confirmed that it was a fake injury.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1,000%. I understand when they say it's, when Triple H and John Cena and Unreal say, we don't like when it gets spoiled. We don't like when it's ruined. We don't mind showing you our version of what happens behind the scenes, but when it gets ruined, it ruins it for everybody. I agree with that. I've always agreed with that. It's just we're in an age now where that stuff is incredibly difficult to keep under wraps. Even an injury angle that plays out like this. So yeah, my reaction definitely would have been different.
Usually I'm a process, not destination type person in terms of, enjoying my entertainment. So usually when stuff for me is spoiled, I'm like, well, I want to know what the process is to get there. I want to know what the journey, because that's where I really find the interesting stuff. Anyways, but this is a situation where there really wasn't much of a journey. the injury angle happened. Seth disappeared off TV and then just shows up. And I was just trying to think, in the interim, is there something they could have done, knowing the news is out there, before today to put some doubt in our heads, as people who are well aware of all the news and whatnot, that this is still going to happen?
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, they could have waited till past SummerSlam, which, look, I think you and I both know where this is headed. Everybody's said it in our chat. Phil's going to win at WrestleMania, right?
We've been saying that, I think, since Mania this year. You know, that's probably the destination. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking. And
let me counter with a question of my own.
Sure.
Trudging ahead the way they did, knowing the people who pay attention knew, is it kind of like, well, fuck y'all for paying attention. This is why we're not going to change, because you guys are paying attention to spoilers out there. And if you don't want it to be, if you want to be surprised, we're not going to change what we do because you guys are paying too close attention to what Meltzer and Pollock and Steven Larson have to say. I kind of appreciate that they just went ahead with it. And it is kind of like, yeah, if you don't want it spoiled, y'all have to change how you interact with social media, because that isn't going to change. And evidently, them running a sloppy ship with people backstage who are, leaking this info, that ain't going to change either. People,
No.
that honestly, and I feel like Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp, they all have their people. It's their job to do this, right?
Yeah.
But like, you gotta wonder, what is the incentive for people who are there to be leaking this info out? If I'm in, and I would never want to be in creative, but if I'm back there, if I'm in WWE, I don't know, man. I'm just like, hey, it is nice when there's a surprise that happens. That is something that I value, because I love to see that reaction. So I really don't understand people who leak it, but that's just the business that it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, and in instances like this, especially, I don't understand the motivation, but that's a whole separate thing, and it's the nature of the times, I guess, now. In terms of them just powering through and doing it, I would assume that they probably think, well, there's a portion of our audience, probably a sizable portion, doesn't really pay attention to the dirt sheet wrestling news stuff. They just watch the product.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It'll be a surprise to them. Even if you think about it from the perspective of Seth's character, who has such animosity towards CM Punk, if it's a situation, this was a ruse the entire time, why would he wait? Wouldn't he want to get Punk at the instance where Punk is simultaneously at his most vulnerable, following a really physical match with Gunther, but at the same time, kind of at his highest point? He just won the title. It's simultaneously probably the easiest cash-in opportunity Seth could get, plus the most impactful in terms of sticking it to Phil.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I'd be like, how can we not do it now? It's a betrayal of Seth's character for him not to do it tonight, if this has been a ruse the entire time. And you're absolutely right, because the argument, because you're also addressing the argument, well, Seth said he would never let Punk be world champion. Well, technically he did for 5 minutes, but I like, you have it? No, you don't. Let you taste it, and then I take it away from you. From a storyline perspective, this is the exact perfect time to do it. My only issue with it, and it has nothing to do with the dirt sheets or any of that, it's the logic of Rollins feigning injury, needing to understand that now Punk will move on and do X, Y, and Z. Like he did successfully thwart the Cena match. He did mission accomplished there, keeping Punk away from that title. And then Punk had to, what did he have to do? Run the gauntlet? I guess it's just a matter of like Seth feigns injury. He didn't run the gauntlet. He won the gauntlet by being like second to last in, I think. He was last in. He was last in.
I'm sorry, last in, yeah. So I guess the idea is Seth simply would have bided his time in perpetuity until it was time for, okay. So yeah, I mean, if that's a plan. Hey, I got the briefcase. I'm going to lay low. People are going to think that I'm injured. And then we're going to wait until this moment. And sure enough, it plays out the way it does. It makes Seth look smart, and he's a futurist. He can read what's going to happen. He can look at all the pieces and see where things are going. That always fascinated me.
Yeah. One thing in hindsight, and maybe it wouldn't have added nothing or anything at all, I don't know. But so often when people have injuries that are going to take them out for a while, they'll have them come out, cut the promo, be like, hey, I'm hurt. I got to go have surgery.
Oh, he does a shoot voice?
Yeah. I don't know, I'm going to be back. You get the thank you, Seth chants. Because the fact that they did the injury angle and then he disappeared was kind of like, okay, that's interesting. Because that's not usually how they do things.
Well, let me ask you this. You don't think that maybe his appearance on the Rich Eisen show or his guest host in the Rich Eisen show meant to sort of fill that role?
But again, what portion of WWE's regular viewing audience would even pay attention to that?
I forget if they didn't run it back on Raw or anything like that.
I don't believe so.
I mean, it sort of lines up with, and I know usually when they do something off camera, they will show it on air, but sometimes they don't. The Charlotte parking lot thing she had with Tiffany, they didn't show on air. They just alluded to it, mentioned it, said, oh, they're not here tonight because of this thing. So maybe that's just part of the, hey, you know what? Word does get around regardless, because this is the age we live in, and people will get to it. Maybe that was the idea. I don't know. In any event, yeah, I mean, I remember seeing the Rich Eisen thing, and we talked about it, and I was like, you know what? The fact that he says, I forget the specific thing that he said, but I was like, that right there makes me think that maybe this is a fakey fakes.
Oh, he was emphasizing, I'm going to be out for a long time.
Yeah. But the counter to that, of course, he knows his own body. He probably knows that he's messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do think that it is the sort of thing that's a bit ruined and by the reporting out there. But that's been the nature of the dirt sheet, so to speak, forever. And that's, I guess, the age we live in. You have to be, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it these days, I don't think there's not much benefit to being on Twitter. So if you could stay off that, maybe you'll be fine. Or don't stop listening to us, though. Don't do that.
Please don't.
Otherwise, so yeah, we had CM Punk won the title. I thought the match was fantastic.
It was good. It was really good.
The Gunther match was really, really good.
I'm going to put the rest, all this narrative that's popping up that I got a beef with CM Punk because I didn't enjoy one of his promos. The match was good. It was a good match.
It was even from the perspective of somebody clearly with Punk derangement syndrome, somebody who's been driven mad by the mere presence of one Phil Brooks, CM Punk.
See, I just said I'm not trying to dispel this narrative that I got any issue with him. I don't have an issue. Just because I don't enjoy one of his promos, and then suddenly I have this massive beef with CM Punk? No.
Many people say that you do, though. So, there you go.
Otherwise, SummerSlam, kind of an up and down night one. I thought the first two matches were pretty good. And then there was a bit of a lull before the main event. Where either the match wasn't given a ton of time. Stories of the match is kind of basic. Sami Zayn holding a steel pipe in a peculiar manner.
Boy, that was funny.
That was funny. And it's interesting they kind of backloaded the two nights with all the stipulation matches. Like all the stipulation matches are night 2. Got the street fight, the cage match, the TLC match, and it's interesting they didn't kind of spread the stipulation matches around a little bit more.
So I'll say this, dude. Even on paper, the matches for tomorrow night, I feel have a lot more potential in terms of like, hey, this is going to be pretty good. You got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi in a match.
That'll be great.
You can't tell me that's not going to be great. Becky Lynch versus Lyra. We know they have put on phenomenal matches. Yep. I feel like this is going to be the same. I think Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, probably going to be an overbooked mess by the end, but I think it'll probably be a fun match. Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles, I think that has the potential to be a really good match. The TLC match is going to be probably match of the night, and then maybe John Cena and Cody Rhodes will do what it's supposed to do.
We're going to talk about the promo bit from SmackDown later on after we go through the SummerSlam recap here in a few minutes, because there's a lot to digest in terms of how what we saw Friday night in that promo segment could inform the main event of night 2. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what it could all mean.
Yeah, I think you and I probably are on the same page in terms of our best guess. But like going back to it, this is night 1 was sort of the night where there were a couple matches where the in-ring was never going to be the thing. Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. I love Karrion Kross, and I hope he re-signs with WWE. But it's not like he's going to be putting on the barn burner that Sami Zayn can put on with other people, like a Kevin Owens or something like that. They didn't give a whole lot of time to Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton.
No,
Jade, it's best just sort of stick to the stuff that emphasizes her strengths. That's just where she's at in her career. I was surprised at the outcome of that one. And then you got Jelly Roll in a match. So it's not like it's the kind of thing where, oh man, we're loading this up with like 5-star potential.
It was the night 1 accomplished what it had to do night of SummerSlam.
That's the new quote from Triple H in that Unreal show is John Cena and Cody put on this dog shit match, and they come back, and instead of being like, oh, it's fucking great, like he does with the good matches, he says, hey, that did everything it was supposed to do.
So you guys hit your one story beat you needed to hit, and everything else kind of didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Let's go home now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to night 2. But night 1 wasn't, hey, I'll say this. It was done by 6:30.
It was.
And we got a
early
cash
start
in.
time.
We got a cash in. And that main event was really good. I'm glad
was
that
really solid. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's obvious, man. Especially watching Unreal. WWE loves CM Punk. WrestleMania night 1. Ooh. And honestly, if Cody, let me ask you this.
No, there's a good chance, I think, if they really nail the story with Seth and Punk going into Mania next year, that can main event night 2. Absolutely.
Who could they possibly dig up for Cody that could be a night 2 over Seth and Punk?
Dwayne.
It'd have to be Dwayne.
Yeah.
That's like the only name that would main event.
Yep.
They ain't got nobody else.
Nope.
So yeah, we're going to talk about the nitty gritty of SummerSlam here in just a moment. We've got a bunch of sponsors for the show today, though, so we'd like to give them some shine. So let's go ahead and do that now.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve, whenever I go on internet, 9 times out of 10 this happens. I'm overloaded with all sorts of things, articles and stuff, of people trying to dole out all kinds of advice about mental health or wellness.
Yeah, man. It could be a lot to navigate, which is why it's super important to use trusted sources and talk to live therapists to help you break through all that noise.
1,000% true. And I definitely needed some help breaking through all the noise when I was dealing with severe anxiety in my mid-20s. And therapy helped me learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety and get me on the path becoming a better Larson.
With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. BetterHelp is also making therapy much more convenient. You can join a session with a therapist with a click of a button, so you can fit therapy into your busy schedule, and you can switch therapists at any time.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. So talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. And this episode is sponsored by Tempo. So summer might be winding down, but I know our schedules are still pretty busy. Plus, back to school season is on the horizon, all of it, which makes it tough to plan nutritious meals for ourselves and our families.
That's right. And instead of settling for fast food, try Tempo. Tempo serves up fast, feel-good, single-serving meals, which takes all the guesswork out of eating well, and they're crafted to cook in just 3 minutes, so you can eat well without sacrificing taste or convenience.
Tempo offers new recipes each week, like braised red wine beef and bistro-style garlic Dijon chicken that are made with real, nutrient-rich ingredients so it's easy to keep up with your healthy lifestyle. Steve, you know I like to get my protein in every day. Well, Tempo offers a range of meals for different dietary preferences, including fiber-rich, carb-conscious, and yes, protein-packed options.
That's right. And for a limited time, Tempo is offering listeners 60% off your first box. Go to tempomeals.com/raw. That's tempomeals.com/raw for 60% off your first box. Tempomeals.com/raw. Rules and restrictions may apply.
And this episode is sponsored by him, Steve. I know you're looking to become a two-time predictions champion and get that hat that comes with another victory, but I'm going to give you some advice. You really don't need another hat. You see, I know what's really going on under that hat, and I got a prediction of my own. You need a personalized plan to regrow your hair.
I thought we were past this, man. I thought we made good, and I thought we were past this. But I guess we're doing this again. Hey, I tell you what, Larson, maybe you should consider getting that hat that you have over there and put it on to cover up that bald spot you got going on over there.
You mean this hat?
Yeah, that one.
Rather than get angry, Steve, you should get some Hims. Hims offers convenient access to a range of doctor-trusted, clinically proven prescription hair loss treatment options with ingredients that work in as little as 3 to 6 months. Now, you don't have to go out of your way to do it because Hims brings expert care right to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment. You can literally get trusted treatments right from the comfort of that couch right behind you, Steve. So for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/goinginraw. That's hims.com/goinginraw for your free online visit. hims.com/goinginraw.
Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
And this episode is sponsored by Brooklyn Bedding. Steve, the older I get, the more I value a good night's sleep. But the irony is, with each passing year, I seem to actually get less sleep. I don't know if it's just part of getting old or if my mattress just isn't suited for me.
So we recently were looking to get one of our stepkids, my boy Devin, a new mattress, and found out about Brooklyn Bedding. And what's cool about Brooklyn Bedding's beds is that they know that sleep isn't a one-size-fits-all type deal. That's why they offer mattresses for everybody and for every sleep style. And if you're not sure about what mattress is right for you, just take their sleep quiz and in 2 minutes, you'll find your ideal mattress. So far, Devin has been sleeping like a dream on his Brooklyn Bedding Aurora Luxe cooling mattress. But if he ever changes his mind, Brooklyn Bedding has a 120-day comfort trial, and they'll help return or exchange the mattress with no hassle.
So go to brooklynbedding.com and use promo code RAW at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. That's brooklynbedding.com and promo code RAW for 30% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. brooklynbedding.com, promo code RAW.
All right, so SummerSlam 2025 Night 1 began with a flyover with some planes going over. We saw everybody show up to the arena. Drewski introduced us to SummerSlam. He hyped up the show. Cardi B comes out, and she says, "What's up? You coming to you live from the tri-state? Got to be real. I'm excited. Who's ready to whoop some ass? We're going to make some history." So I don't know if you should be inciting the crowd that way. I like Cardi B, though.
Yeah, anyways. I do too. First match was Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Dude, I
know.
Unreal. Kind of ruined Jey Uso for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Now every time I see him have to make his entrance, I think he's just blown up.
It's here for me. It's not necessarily, because I think the same. It's not necessarily that it's like, oh God, this guy's blown up. It's this guy's blown up and he's going to get in trouble for it. He's going to get de-pushed for it. He's got the most elaborate entrance, and he's in a stadium this time. Luckily, he's in a tag team match, so he's got to do less work, but he's in a tag team match where his partner is Roman Reigns, who doesn't do much of anything in these matches except for get the hot tag. So yeah. Jey had to do most of the work.
Yeah, Jey was getting isolated for quite a bit. So we got Jey and Roman taking on Bron and Bronson injuries associates. Specialists, yeah. Thank you. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Long match. Fun, though. They kept it interesting the whole time. There was some
I enjoyed this, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good tag team dynamics. there's plenty of fun stuff here. So at one point, Braun's looking for the super spear, but he runs right into a Superman punch from Roman, and then Roman spears Braun through the barricade. Reed goes after Jay, puts him back in the ring, calls for a tsunami. Instead, Roman hits him with a Superman punch on the top rope. They hit the 1D, Roman and Jay do. Braun breaks up that pin. So then Braun puts... So you had the straps down.
Yeah.
Puts the straps back up, puts them down again.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
He's looking for a spear. Roman, though, he's looking for a spear on Jay. Roman pushes Jay out of the way and eats it.
Yeah, nice moment there.
Jay hits Braun with a super kick, then hits the spear on Bronson. Reed follows with the Uso splash, covers to get the win. So before the match began, we were all wondering, match began, and so started with the brawl. Jay and Roman cleared the ring of Braun and Bronson. And so Jay was like, let's do the encore for the entrance to get all the yeeting going. And we were wondering, is Roman going to yeet?
Is he going to yeet? He did do this, though. He did do the symbol for start it over. But he didn't do the actual eat. Now, there's claims that at the end of the match, when they're celebrating, fan cams got Roman yeeting. That didn't matter to us because we're not fan cams. We didn't see that on the broadcast. So thus far, on camera, no yeet. I feel like they should have made a bigger deal out of this. Let me ask you this. The hell is next for Roman? And for that matter, kind of more importantly, what's next for Jay? Because I don't know if Roman's going to be back again until maybe like the Rumble or something.
Yeah, Roman's going to dip out. We won't see him for a while. For Jay, I mean, obviously, I guess they could feed him to Seth between now and Mania.
Oh, that's a possibility.
Do that.
Yeah,
they could do that. I don't know. Maybe start challenging for the IC title. I don't know.
Are they just going to get the same War Games team together this coming year? Except maybe you can replace, because you got like November's coming up. They got the big stadium show. Maybe Roman will do War Games.
That could be. Do Punk. Punk assembles a team to take on Seth, Braun, and Bronson, and somebody else.
Because Jay can continue to mix it up in there. And I don't know. The interesting thing is now with Seth as champion, Gunther's going to want to get a piece of that. I assume he'll mix it up with Seth, and Seth will mix it up with Jay before going on to Punk. Maybe that there's some sort of, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of War Games because it's like the next major one coming up.
Mm-hmm. Next stadium show, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways. But yeah, I assume Jay's going to continue to mix it up there with the main event scene, and Roman will go away for a while.
Yep.
He'll shoot that movie in September, I guess.
Yeah, Street Fighter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So after that, we had the women's tag title match, Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez defending the tag titles against Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. The question here was, and I think we talked about this in advance, the story of this match was just as much about Alexa and Charlotte actually coming to terms with the fact that they're becoming friends. And if the acknowledgement of the friendship was enough of a victory in this match, so they didn't necessarily have to win the tag titles. Be like, oh, we are friends. Now that we are friends officially, we both recognize that, then we can go and win those tag titles. But no, they just kind of combined those two elements into one match and told the story basically all in the course of this one. And despite an inadvertent forearm from Alexa to Charlotte, they overcame that and won themselves the tag titles.
Well, I wonder if the idea was, we know they're friends. They even know they're friends. And even though Alexa might be doubting a little bit, this just proved that they were friends. Not necessarily that this made them friends. They were friends the whole time. And so championships equal friendship.
I guess so.
I guess
so.
This could set up potentially something interesting if they hold on to the titles for a bit. Tomorrow you got Becky and Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey was interested. I think those tag titles are kind of a symbol of like her failure because she got attacked by Becky. Mm-hmm. Becky and Lyra won those titles Lyra basically was like, yeah, sure, I'll take anybody, but, if now that Bayley's hurt. So she took Becky. Bayley tried to put it aside. Her and Lyra had that feud. She tried to put that aside. Let's win these tag titles. It was an honest effort. Didn't get those.
Yeah.
She might help Becky tomorrow. Lyra can't challenge again. But then you got Becky and Bayley. Maybe Bayley's like, I don't care about the Intercontinental Championship, but I can use Becky to go after the tag titles. You got a pretty powerful two-team situation there with Charlotte and Alexa and Becky and Bayley with the potential. A lot of history with these teams.
Yeah.
Some interesting character dynamics. They could explore there.
They could go that route. Who knows?
Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. So following that spot where Alexa inadvertently, accidentally hit Charlotte. Then Raquel hit Charlotte with a Tejana bomb. Roxanne follows with Pop Rocks. But then Alexa comes in and breaks it up with a blockbuster. So Raquel charges into the post. And Alexa brings Charlotte over to their corner. Tags herself in. Roxanne rolls her up, gets a 2 count. She looks for Pop Rocks. Alexa blocks that. Hits the right hand. Sets up for Sister Abigail, but then Charlotte gets back in the ring. It's like glaring, you think, at Alexa because of the forearm. And so Alexa slowly turns around. You can tell that she's like, oh, is she setting up to hit me? No, Charlotte runs over and hits Raquel with a boot. Alexa hits Roxanne with Sister Abigail DDT and covers to get the win.
I thought it was a wonderfully executed finish to the match. Everything from the inadvertent forearm. I hate when they do the thing where it's like clearly an accident. I love the Swerve Ospreay thing.
Yeah.
When Ospreay hits Swerve and Swerve still selling the Ospreay shot. Goes and gets into the path of all those super kicks. And so I like this. Hey, it's inadvertent. It happens. And then Charlotte's like, no, let's go ahead and get this done. It was a real good crowd grabbing moment right there. Mm-hmm. And it also, this match reminded me just how goddamn good Alexa Bliss is.
Yep.
Everything she does looks so crisp and clean, and she's just a really good wrestler in there, man.
She is.
So this should be a lot of fun. This team, I'm really glad that they understood, hey, we've got something. They're getting good reactions like immediately just by virtue of their chemistry, and I'm glad they're rolling with this. Judgment Day, they had their run. Now that Roxanne is in the group, this is going to be, Judgment Day has been one of those like very interesting mid-card. I know they got a bunch of titles, but it's like the tag titles that are never really featured, Yeah. And so their dynamic is going to be interesting now because Raquel's still, wanting Liv to come back. She's not huge in the situation. We'll see what Finn's reaction. A lot of dynamics there that'll be kind of interesting for them to explore.
Yeah, for sure. Good match. A really good match. Next up, we had Karrion Kross taking on Sami Zayn. The loser had to tell the winner that they were right.
So
we didn't get that. Do we even get that?
I think it's going to be on Raw.
Oh, all right.
They got to give that its own segment.
Fair enough.
Unless he just did it while he was sitting there.
Maybe. I don't know. So again, another singles match between these two. There wasn't a lot to write home about. It was fine. At one point, Scarlett slides the steel pipe in for Karrion. Karrion takes a swing at Sami. Sami ducks it. And then later on, so the ref's checking on Kross after Sami hits some stomps on him. And Scarlett slides the pipe into Sami. So he picks it up, and he's holding it as if the pipe is emanating from his front area.
Look, it's just because I'm a piece of shit that I noticed this. I don't know if anybody else is going to pick up on this, but when Sami grabbed that pipe, he was holding it like that, and it was very slowly rising up. And you got Scarlett down there, good-looking woman, and it's just rising up. I'm like, God damn, that's a hell of a visual.
Yeah.
And so anyways, he thinks about it, I guess, and then he throws it back out the ring. And then Kross tries to roll him up, only gets 2 at that. Sami gives him an exploder. Helluva kicks, covers, gets the win. This match took all of 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah. And so afterwards, Sami jumps down from the apron, looks at Kross and goes, "We're done." And Kross just goes,
Yeah, pretty much done. Yeah,
Nods his head.
Yeah.
So apparently that's that.
He's like, well, maybe your presence here got you an extension on your contract. I hope so, because like I said, I like Kross being in WWE, and he's got his fans out there. I mean, the great thing is, even if he doesn't get an extension, he's got his fans, and they're gonna follow him to TNA or MLW or wherever he goes. I doubt that AEW would want him, but
you never know. You never know. You never know. Like so much not so much, but it seems like AEW is trying to emphasize character-based storytelling along with, the high caliber in-ring product. And we know without a doubt that Kross can do the former.
He can do the character stuff, yeah.
And I think in the right setting, he could put on decent matches because if you watch some of his stuff outside of WWE, he's put on some decent matches.
Yeah, remains to be seen. I mean, it'll be interesting because the temptation's gonna be there. But I feel like Tony probably learned from the. It depends if Kross is gonna if Kross can show, hey, I can buy into this, and away from the WWE style of things, maybe I can give you at least a decent match. Maybe I don't know, but I feel there's a part of me that thinks that. Miro and Malachi and Andrade might have put Tony's guard up,
but at the same time, like Ricochet's worked out really well.
Well, Ricochet's a match guy, though.
I know, but his character work has been the standout of his work in AEW so far.
Yeah, but he's a match.
I know he's a match.
If you're AEW, and your thing is wrestling, oh man.
Yeah, you signed Ricochet without hesitation. I'm just saying, the focus of Ricochet in AEW has been his character work.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Jade challenging Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's title. And this match, there was one story beat they really had to hammer home, and that was Jade hitting Jaded in the corner and kind of over-rotating on the cover a bit much, so Tiffany's foot got on the bottom rope. It was essentially Jade's inexperience for the title picture, and that ended up costing her the match.
Yeah. This was not, I feel, the way to go. And I'm not even talking about, they should have had Jade win. I think, doing a story where somebody is still a bit green, even if it's within the context of the story, and losing still, I feel is much more interesting when it's not on things that are so bonehead. Like she hits Jaded in the corner. Man, within 2 weeks of me watching pro wrestling back in college, I knew that you need to be towards the middle of the ring.
Yep.
I played, you play WCW NWO World Tour. You can't be near the ropes.
Oh, the rope break for that is like a foot inside the ring from the ropes.
It was unforgiving, man. It was unforgiving. And so it's like when it's on bonehead shit like that it's like, come on. Now, I don't mind when somebody is new to the main event scene. You're taking on the champion. Tiffany Stratton's got a really good resume as champion so far. Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton. She's got a good resume.
Yeah.
And so Jade's in there. I don't mind when it's like, how do I win at that next level? Because this person has absorbed all the powers of these people that she's beat.
Yeah.
So how do I win at this next level? And to be outclassed in that manner, that's fair game.
That's a different story than
foot's on the rope. I'm going to argue, like, what the hell? Dude, Jaded 3 feet over.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Or don't do the whole roll up like all the way and your foot is literally here on the rope. I just don't buy it.
It's a finish that's a disservice to, I feel like, what they're trying to do in terms of building up Jade to be a perennial main eventer title holder. I'm not even saying
that it's like specific to Jade, because we've seen this before.
Oh, we see it all the time. And whenever we see it, it's like, really? They're going to this story beat again?
Honestly, like, even if it's, hey, I think I knocked, we've seen finishers happen near the ropes.
Yeah.
And even the logic of that, I'm kind of okay with, because it's like the person doling out the move thinks, oh, I've got this person down. This person's knocked out. This 3 is going to happen. And they happen to put their foot up on the ropes. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I'm okay with it because the logic makes sense. But for a wrestler to like do the pin so much that the foot is just right there and you're not aware of where you are, you shouldn't have won Queen of the Ring then, you know? And again, it's not specific to Jade. Like the other people, they've done this, and I hate it then too.
Same, yeah.
So yeah, if it's a story where this person is trying to get to that next level and they lose because that other person has learned so much more, hey, I'm fine with that. And we've seen that before, and I'm cool with that. Braun Breaker's story has been like, he'll lose, learn, and win.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I thought this was a curious decision for a 7-minute match for Jade to be undone by that.
Yeah, agreed, 1,000%. And it's a situation where they go back to that kind of trope. It's like it's kind of a tired trope at this point. It comes off as superficial.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's as opposed to telling a real story about, all right, Jade has achieved so much. What's it going to take to get to that next level? And you have someone, Tiffany, who, hasn't been in the business that long herself either, but has accumulated a good number of main event wins and accolades in her short time on the main roster, and is operating at a championship level. And to see, whatever it is where Tiffany outlasts Jade in some capacity or whatever the case may be because she's gone through those battles in the past, that's a way more interesting story than a mistake.
Yeah. No, I agree. After that, so Tiffany Stratton got the win here. After that, we had the celebrity match of SummerSlam this year. It was Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, who did a very brief rendition of Randy Orton's theme song. He sang the opening bit there. Crowd took over. The music came in. Logan and Drew came out first, so they were waiting for them. So they come down, and Jelly Roll did. You said it perfect. The one thing that Jelly Roll understood was selling the emotion and drama of his role in this match. And in that role, he did well.
Yeah.
And fuck WWE for making me say that. All the impressive stuff that Logan Paul has done during his time as a WWE superstar, and he has integrated into the world better than any celebrity has ever done. To come from his platform to WWE, he is a wildly impressive athlete to compete the way he does, to perform the way he does, I should say. But that being said, I've always been like, the guy, he doesn't get a ton of reps in, so him being able to fully carry a really good match, and which might be, lofty criticism. I don't know. The guy kind of puts me off whenever I see him in any other setting that isn't WWE. For this dude to sell Jelly Roll the way he did, this is the one time I'm going to give him his flowers, because this was like Hogan, Jay Leno shit. When this Jelly Roll guy, who doesn't have a lick of athletic acumen in his body, nor does he look intimidating in any way, shape, or form, and he grabs Logan Paul by the throat. And Logan sells it like it's the Great Khali. I'm like, you know what, man? Good on you for trying your damnedest to make this dude look good. And the both of those guys, my hat goes off to both of those guys for doing that frog splash through the table spot, because that ain't easy on anybody. Nope. Jelly Roll taking it, he got in position and he tensed up and did this, ready to take it. And I was like, oh, he ain't going to move off that table. And the angle, the wide angle they did, or the long shot of Logan Paul and the amount of air he gets off that is genuinely fucking impressive.
Yeah.
And doling that out there. That being, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think they were going to do the right thing with the outcome. They did the right thing with the outcome. Because there's no way in hell Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, with their accolades, with their athleticism, with what they've accomplished in WWE, this should be a bit of a handicap match against Randy Orton and this other dude in Jelly Roll.
Yeah, yeah. Especially they set that up. They set something up pretty early on that led you to believe that, at least me, that they'd be more likely inclined to go with Logan and Drew winning, and that is immediately when the bell rings, Jelly Roll tags himself in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, Jelly Roll wasn't thinking tactically at all during the course of all this. He was just want to get his hands on Logan.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And that kind of played out towards the end too. After he gets put through the table, they do the bit where the trainers come and help him up and walk out the ring. And he's standing there for a moment. He collapses near the foot of the ramp, gets back to his feet, gets in the ring, and tags back in, and just goes on a run. That's when he does the choke slam to Logan. Drew McIntyre has to eat a boss man slam during this. And then we get a power slam where Jelly Roll kind of gets Logan off the top rope. Drew breaks that up, and then Drew hits a Claymore on Jelly Roll. Randy hits an RKO on Drew, and then Logan throws Randy into the post and then hits a frog splash on Jelly Roll to get the win.
Yeah.
And it's just the idea that Jelly Roll is so determined to not leave the ring without getting his hands and beating up Logan Paul, but didn't do it with any sort of strategy involved. He's not a professional wrestler.
Yeah, it's not his world, yeah.
And so that makes sense.
Yeah.
In addition to the fact that he's not a full or regular professional wrestler, and in the idea of Logan and Drew having to sell for him when they are.
At least they got the win.
At least they didn't go the finish
so far.
They made the finish made sense. The winners made sense logically.
Yeah. Yeah. But no,
now what's going to happen though
mm-hmm.
is we're going to get, what is it? 8 more months of Jelly Roll training. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes on Logan Paul at WrestleMania and wins. Because apparently they want to have a match next year too.
All right.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. keep Logan Paul away from anything important.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cool with that. I don't know. The whole thing. I do appreciate, like I said this a million times, whether it's Bad Bunny or Snoop Dogg. I will never fucking forget WrestleMania when Shane O'Mac shows up, blows out his quads, and Snoop Dogg, like that, jumped into the action.
Yep.
Like they were like, "Hey, Snoop, you got to do this shit," and he just did it.
Yep.
That is so impressive.
Yep.
Bad Bunny done a killer job. Talked about Logan Paul already. When somebody is really invested in the product, I can appreciate that. I really can. And when that investment shows on camera, I think that's been the disconnect. When you watch Travis Scott backstage at Unreal, it's like, man, this guy seems to really enjoy this shit. But then when you actually see him on camera, it's like, he's trying to be too cool for school. You're not really opening yourself up and letting people appreciate that you like this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can appreciate the Jelly Roll stuff. I wouldn't be mad if he came back. I was, in probably the way they weren't really intending, enjoying the entertainment value of the match. It was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
I have no idea what star rating I'm going to give it tomorrow. Probably not a very high one.
No.
But if train wrecks, the more of a train wreck a match is, the higher star rating you would get. It'd probably get pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah. Which brings us to our main event. Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. So this match was about half hour long. Of that half hour, it was probably a good, at minimum, 20 minutes of Gunther beating the absolute shit out of CM Punk.
It was, yeah.
Punk would get some little flurries of offense. Gunther would always turn the tables, wreck them with chops. Punk was bleeding from the collarbone. And I guess to his credit, CM Punk burst some capillaries in Gunther's chest as well, because it was red with some chops. But once again, Gunther's hubris was his undoing.
Yeah.
When he loses, generally it's because of hubris. And he is reveling in the destruction he's causing to CM Punk's body. He goes and poses next to the World Heavyweight Championship, drops a promo, stands on the announce table and preens and poses to the crowd. And then Punk comes out and sweeps out his leg. Somehow that busts Gunther open, but he's bleeding a ton, and he is freaked out. The sight of his own blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's literally telling Punk, back off. When they're
He's
both in the ring.
freaking out over his blood. He is freaking out. I thought it was a wonderful performance. I thought the 30 minutes was just a really great performance. And that's the thing about a Gunther match is that it can go 30 minutes and go 10 minutes. And for me, for my money, and I know there are people out there who aren't into the Gunther thing, I'm always compelled by it. I'm like, where is this going to go next? It might not always be bang, bang, bang. And oftentimes it is the opposite of bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But it's always like, I really want to know how this is going to go down.
Yep. So Punk starts his comeback, get the running knee, get the Macho Man elbow. Punk calls for a GTS, lips up Gunther. Gunther escapes, locks on a sleeper, and then Punk's struggling to find a way to escape. And so he starts getting his hands up by the wound on Gunther's head. So Gunther loosens up enough so Punk can get a GTS. And Gunther does a great sell where he's kind of wobbling back and forth like Triple H in that silly video where he's selling like that. So Punk hits a second, covers after getting the shit beat out of him for 20 minutes, covers and pins Gunther. We have a new World Heavyweight Championship. So Punk's handed the title. He starts getting emotional, hugs it, holds it up, and we describe what happened next. Seth Rollins' music hits. He says to Punk, "Oh, you better watch out," only to come to the ring, successfully cash in. And so Bron and Bronson come to the ring to celebrate, lean over Punk and talk a bunch of shit. And then Seth goes to the top of the ramp, starts twirling, spinning the belt over his head like he did at WrestleMania 31. And that's how the show ends.
10 years later. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say, hey, what happens next? Punk wins. Punk's the one who passed out at the Elimination Chamber. He lost. He was the last man who lost at Elimination Chamber. I get the feeling. Yeah, boy, I don't know. Like, I know you had mentioned that you felt with the Rumble next year being in Saudi Arabia, Sami Zayn would be a shoo-in to win that. But since they'd both be going after the same title, what do you see playing out?
You could have, if it's a situation where they don't have anybody, Sami could challenge Cody. Mm-hmm. Win the Rumble, challenge Cody. So, Sami could be like, whether that means Sami wins at Mania or fails in his first attempt, I don't know. But that could be the match. Rely on the story aspect as opposed to, and not to say Sami's not a star in the wrestling world. He absolutely is. But,
Well, no, I mean, that's the point there. I mean, that's sort of the big question is Cody's star big enough to carry Sami Zayn? Would they rely on the story of Sami over courting Steve Austin?
Yeah, over the marquee
Cody
of Cody versus The Rock or Cody versus Stone Cold or
like, because again, they don't. It's not like they have. It's not like they have another Roman Reigns on file there. Yeah. They got one. It's called CM Punk, who's going to be with Seth Rollins at Mania.
Yep.
So, I mean, they could try and do. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll also find out what happens main event of night 2. Let's talk about this real quick. It was kind of the most notable thing to come out of SmackDown, although Julia versus Lena Vega was very good. Most of Damian Priest versus Alistair was pretty good, except the finish was lame. Mm-hmm. So to open the show, we have John Cena come to the ring. Cody interrupts him immediately before he could start his promo. And then Cena cut a promo, and I'll paraphrase the best I can. Essentially, Cody, you forced me into this match at SummerSlam when I didn't want to have it. I thank you for that because that's the kick in the ass I needed to reawaken it within me, the real John Cena. And he says about the heel turn, essentially I was convinced by The Rock. He didn't name The Rock. Effectively, what he's saying, to have a great shocking moment on TV, and now everybody who I thought was on my team, Rock and Travis Scott, left me. And so now you're going to get the best John Cena at SummerSlam Night 2. If you want some, come get some. Champ is here, all that. So then Cody asks someone ringside for a couple of beers. They crack him open, shake hands, cheers, drink beer, and that's it.
Yeah, the beer thing was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Was it? I don't know that. I don't know what that
So
was.
either
Is it a foreshadowing of Steve Austin?
maybe.
Was it a
So I mean, like
Broken
if you're
Skull
really
IPA?
if we're really looking into it, it wasn't. It was Hogan's piss water beer is what they were cheering.
Oh, okay. Well, that was going to be my next question. Was it?
So like you sent it to me yesterday, and I was listening to it in the car while I was driving, so I didn't really see what was going on. So I watched it again this morning. And if we really want to read too much into it, the fact that Cena alluded to Dwayne, alluded to Travis Scott, he also said to Cody, you know, the only platinum rapper you're going to be whooping your ass at SummerSlam is going to be me. Now, I would assume, unless Triple H disposing of like weeks, if not months of storytelling, and he's just not turning John Cena face on SmackDown, is Cena's doing this to so Cody would let his guard down a bit in the street fight where anything goes, and maybe it's so far as Travis Scott will show up. I don't think The Rock's going to be there, but a situation where Cody thinks, all right, I'm getting the John Cena I want to wrestle. Something happens during the match where, I mean, Cena can't cheat street fight. But Cena takes advantage of Cody letting his guard down somewhat. But then you'd think Cody would still have to overcome, because if not, it's kind of too comparable to the situation we had at WrestleMania where Cody wouldn't hit him with the title.
Yeah. So my guess on that, I can't speak to. I would be surprised if Travis Scott was there. I don't.
I mean, the reporting is that they had a falling out and whatnot, but
yeah. So I don't know about all that. I would be surprised if Travis Scott showed up. Cody has said that he didn't want to hit John Cena at WrestleMania because that John Cena was still part of him. That was like, I can't bring myself to do that against the John Cena that was my mentor. And so this is John Cena saying, hey, I'm that guy again. So you're not... The big thing is the title shot to the head. That's the story there. And so, yes, it's a street fight, and Cody should use it in a street fight, and it's totally fair and legal. And this is going to be a thing where you're not going to need a ref bump because it's a street fight. So the ref can be standing there. Cody's going to find himself in a situation to use the title on John Cena.
He already hit Cena in the head with the title. Did a couple weeks
sure,
ago.
when he was a bad guy, and Cena was like, fuck, that hurt. That's going to be my undoing. How do I eliminate that from happening during the match?
Yeah.
And so that's going to be the thing is, can Cody do it against the John Cena he thinks is the good John Cena? And he might waffle. John Cena will hit him with the title. Cody will kick out. And then he'll hit him with the title. Cody will, because he'll realize, oh, he's still a piece of shit. So, and then I don't know how they're going to get to the Cena face turn. They'll get to the Cena face turn. But that's my best guess.
Yeah,
but I also said Jade Cargill's going to win clean, and the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
I'm currently in 365th position in fucking predictions.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean that scenario makes the most sense.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
What doesn't make
Travis
sense
Scott.
is that John Cena is just suddenly babyface John Cena again.
Okay, let's explore that thing. If Friday night legitimately was Cena going face, that's the stupidest, laziest story beat I've ever heard in my life. That'd be horrible. Mm-hmm. That would be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then yeah, I'll shit all over it.
Yeah.
But I'm down for a swerve. Hey, he's trying to get into Cody's head. Let's have a couple of brewskis, and then I'm gonna kick you in the nuts and hit you in the head with the title. Mm-hmm. They fucking better do that. If they don't, oh my god, that was the worst face turn I've ever seen in my fucking life. That was horrible.
No. Yeah, no.
I can only have faith that they're gonna do something that isn't so transparently stupid.
Yeah.
But then. You never
Which is
know.
like when you sent it to me and I finally watched it, I'm like, all right, what makes the most sense is this is a swerve. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. But what if it's not? How do I wrap my head around that?
Like, it's before a really violent match, so it's kind of hard for him to stay being a good guy if he has a match where legally he could do any kind of vicious shit that he wants to do.
I know, but at the same time, like being involved in a street fight of vicious, like if it wasn't a street fight, I'd be like, oh, he's going to cheat again. Like there's an easy path for him to signify to the crowd, oh, I'm bad John Cena still. That's a little tougher to do in a match where there's no rules.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I'm thinking, I'm trying to appeal to Cody so that he'll feel super guilty by doing what you should do anyways in a street fight.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to cross that line.
It's going to be a weird situation where there's going to be a brutal match for 20 minutes. Chairs and kendo sticks and maybe tables. But then the one thing Cody's going to hesitate is hitting him with the title again.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, but I can see it. I can see that because the title shot is everything. You know?
I mean, that's it's imbued with some measure of meaning in the course of the story.
It's going to be a WWE street fight, which are kind of not
watered down.
Yeah, that's not.
Although Gunther bled tonight.
In a regular match, that's the irony. Mm-hmm. The match tomorrow. I think Cody and Cena should bleed buckets tomorrow.
Yeah.
But will they? I don't know. It's WWE. Anyways. So, there it is. There's our review for SummerSlam 2025, Night 1.
Night 1.
Join us tomorrow. Of course, we'll be back doing our live watch-along for Night 2. So be sure to join us for that. And the predictions challenge is on and cracking right now. Do we know who numero uno, who's in first place? It's still really early. Cody's talking about adding Triple Mania to it, which is crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I think Jay Smooth is still in first. Let me check.
All right. Briefly. Hasn't Jay Smooth been champion before?
Oh, I don't remember these.
That'd be cool. We've had a lot of champions. So, anyways, join us for all that. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Jay Smooth currently the leader, ahead by 1 point.
Oh, cool. Right on. All right. Well, we'll see. It's still 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more events.
A lot of shows left.
Yeah, a lot of shows in August. It's going to do it. Until next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.